What's going on, pursuers? Welcome to The Pursuit of Calling, the podcast that provides you with the strategies and tools needed to successfully discover and pursue your calling. Whether it's through inspiring stories, thought-provoking interviews, or quick, insightful episodes on personal growth and development, we've got you covered. I'm your host, Thomas Carney. Enjoy the episode. What's going on, pursuers? The last 3 weeks, I've been doing something a little different. I've been tracking, literally every single day, how much time I spend on executing on my business, how much time I spend learning, and how much time I spend actually doing healthy practices like working out, going on walks, meal prepping. And it's been, like I said, it's been 3 weeks. And I've been using AI to create to create my daily logs, to check in with me and say and tell me hey, maybe you're overpacking your day. And I wanted to see what patterns stuck out. And something stood out to me that honestly surprised me a little bit. There are days where I would end thinking, man, I actually moved the needle today. I actually felt like I was very productive. And then there are other days where I'm like, I know I was busy all day, but I don't feel like I got anything done. Why don't I feel like I got anything done? I'm the same person. I got the same goals, but there's a different outcome. And what I started asking myself is what's making that difference? What's the difference in these days? And because it wasn't the time, I had the same amount of time in every single day. It wasn't my energy level, because some days I have higher pain and I still get great output. And it wasn't even motivation, because some days I wasn't motivated, but I still got things done. And productive things that moved the needle and that were good. So it had to be something else. Most people look at the super productive person. They look at somebody and they're like, man, I can't believe, how do they get so much done? I'm not trying to pat myself on the back here, because I don't think I'm one of those people. Let me clarify that. And they think it has to do with their mood. It has to do with being an eccentric, high energy person, or with motivation. People overestimate how much motivation plays in the actual productivity of somebody's day. But what I started noticing in my own life is my days where I was productive or unproductive or seemingly unproductive weren't random at all. There was a pattern. And I think it's a pattern that we all know exists, but we'd rather pretend like it doesn't. Some days I executed without thinking about it. Other days I drifted to random busy work or just scrolling on my phone. Same me, but there's a different structure underneath. Something I love that James Clear said in Atomic Habits is that you don't rise to the level of your motivation, you fall to the level of your systems. And when I looked at my best days, something consistent showed up. I wasn't guessing what to do next. When I planned these days, I knew exactly what done looked like. I knew exactly what the definition of done was for each task. Maybe it was, I was going to reach out to people with the task, going to reach out and do some outreach during the day. But specifically what the task was make 5 specific outreach messages to 5 specific people. Or maybe it's like this: record 1 podcast episode. Complete 1 defined task. There's no vague intentions here. It's not just good vibes. But because of that, I didn't spend energy deciding. I spent energy doing. Here's what's interesting. On those good days, nothing felt special in the moment. I didn't wake up thinking today is going to be this uber productive day. I just planned better. Not just setting priorities, but clearly defining them. But looking back, the clarity made everything easier. We've talked about this before in previous episodes. And on the other days, I was still working. I still had to do items. There were still things I was getting done because, like I said, I've been tracking myself for 3 weeks. And every day I'm setting top priorities and said, what are my top 3 priorities for the day? But on the days where I didn't feel as productive, everything felt heavier, slower, and more scattered. Not because I was less motivated, or not because I was less motivated, not because I was more motivated to move forward, but because I was less clear on the outcome that I was pursuing. You know, my best days weren't motivated days. They were days of clarity. And my worst days weren't lazy days. They were just days that were unclear. I wasn't failing randomly. I was reacting to structure I hadn't put a name to yet. One thing I really like that I did initially, my time clock, I had a time clock, just what I had a database set up in my Notion application called a time clock. Later on, I just like, wait, this is not a time clock anymore. It's an execution log. And something else I realized was clarity on action beats motivation every time. Some days you're not going to feel like doing it. I know I don't feel like doing what I'm aiming to do every single day, but there's things that I know I need to get done. On those days, if you haven't clearly defined your next steps, you're in the danger zone of drifting to your default. Clarify your next best actions. So regardless of your motivation, you know what step to take. This is called The Pursuit of Calling. This podcast is called The Pursuit of Calling Podcast. That's my whole brand. And because I think a lot of us wait for clarity to make the next best decision, we ignore clarity in daily obedience. We want this big directive from God. We want God to speak from the heavens and say, these are the next 5 things you need to do, or this is all the steps you need to take in order to achieve the goals you're looking to achieve and to live in the calling I put on your life. But we overlook the next simple step that's already in front of us. The clarity that's already been given. I've been realizing God often doesn't give you the whole map. Like, I think that's something we intuitively know. He doesn't give you the whole map. It's just enough clarity for obedience. And maybe faithfulness isn't about seeing everything clearly. Maybe it's about recognizing what already is clear and moving on it anyway. It's because we don't know what's the step going to be after this step. Doesn't mean we don't take action on what we already know. So here's my challenge for you this week. Look back on your own life. Look even back on the last week of your life and say, when was my last good, productive day? The day where I felt like, man, I actually achieved today. Maybe it was work or at home. Towards the goals that God has put on your life, to that calling that is on you. What happened that day? What was different about it compared to your off days? I'm going to name those again. There's 2 things I want you to look at. What day was it? Like, think about the last day that you were productive, that you felt like really good about what you got done that day. What did you get done? Why did you get it done? Was it because you were clear on the action? Was it because you had a clear directive? And what was the difference about it compared to maybe one of your off days? One of the days where you felt maybe like, man, I didn't get a lot done today. I feel like I was busy all day, but I didn't get anything done. What was the difference? So don't overthink that. Just look for the pattern. Just be curious. Maybe here's an example. Why did I scroll on my phone so much? Was I bored? Why was I bored? What could I have done differently? Now that's kind of a flip on one of the patterns of what caused you to drift. But you can also say, why did I get so much done today? Was I excited? Was I motivated? Was I just clear on the next step? Did I do one small action and that caused momentum for me to get to the next action? What caused me to take that next step? What caused me to continue taking action? Because I think most of us are sitting on repeatable success. We have these systems that we've habitually created in our lives without knowing it. We just haven't noticed what's already working. And I've been thinking about this a lot lately. So not just in my own life, but how I can help people walk through their growth too. Because what I've realized is this: if clarity creates momentum, then the fastest way to grow isn't just learning more. It's putting yourself in environments where growth becomes structural and intentional. That's actually why I'm excited about something I'm starting on April 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is my birthday, by the way. I'm going to gift something to you. I'm kicking off something called the Pursuer's Circle. It's a 4-week personal growth group built around the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth by John C. Maxwell. And the heart behind this is simple: not just hoping for growth, because hope is not a strategy, but creating a clear rhythm when growth actually happens. Because a lot of us don't need more motivation. We need clearer environments, clearer rhythms, and clearer next steps. We need to pursue growth with intention. So if you've been in a season where you know you want to grow, but things have felt a little unclear or inconsistent, this is exactly what I'm building this for. Again, we start on April 27th at 7 p.m. If you want to join us, you can sign up at the link in the description of this episode. You can find it at https://pursuitofcalling.as.me/pursuer-circle. So it's pursuitofcalling.as.me/pursuer-circle. All right, guys. Thank you. Hope to see you. And oh yeah, by the way, there's about 6 open slots left. I'm only allowing 10 people in this group. So if you want to get in, you need to get in now because the slots are going to fill up. And I'm just going to keep inviting people until it's full. So guys, thank you for listening to this episode of the Pursuit of Calling podcast. Share it on social media if you found this episode helpful. Share it with a friend. And guys, thank you for pursuing your calling. Pursue it well. Other people are relying on you to pursue your calling, to serve those you've been called to serve. So thank you for what you're doing. Pursue your calling well. Do it with excellence. Do it with intention. And I will see you next time. Peace.